Hey guys, this is B Junior from Endurance Productions, Movie Reviews. Going to review something a little different for you today. Going to do a little action drama from yesteryear. The movie here that I'm going to talk about today is reputed as the most unusual box office success of all time, and I think it held for a long time the most successful independent film ever made, alongside the likes of Halloween and things of that nature that just broke new ground and was an independent movie that made tons of money, and it really stuck along with the hearts of many people along the way. I don't know if it still holds the title of the most successful independent box office success of all time or whatever, but it's reputed to hold that title. So without further delay, guys, the movie is Billy Jack. It's a movie from basically my mother and father's generation that is transcribed over into my life, and hopefully will keep on going as time goes on. The movie is a bit dated because it takes place in the present day, or the present time of the late 60s, early 70s. This movie was released in 1971, the same year as Dirty Harry, and basically made the same amount of money, or if not more. I think it made about double the money that Dirty Harry made, believe it or not. It's basically the story of... Let me back up a little bit. Let me tell you a little story. I saw this movie in an Indian cultures class, which was an extra course that I took in high school, because I always wanted to know more about Native American cultures. I took the class just because I wanted to. It was just something I had to do. When I got in there, I'm really glad today. It was a course that I really enjoyed, and we watched a lot of Native American footage and films. This was one of which I saw for the first time there. I went home and told my mother what I'd watched, and my mother just had this big cow, so she's like, "You watched Billy Jack? Are you kidding me? That movie was great. It had all kinds of martial arts in it, and Indian and Native American things happening in it. It was so great." And I was like, man, I didn't know it was this big of a movie. It was like kind of like my generation hadn't caught on to it yet, because we still had VHS, and you had to go to the video store and actually go find it. It wasn't on TV a lot, so I was kind of introduced to the world of Billy Jack through that. And I basically just fell in love with this movie because this was pre-Bruce Lee, pre-Chuck Norris. One of the first movies that depicted a whole lot of martial arts, and it had a dramatic punch that a lot of movies didn't have. And it all was underneath this little sleeper hit, basically. I mean, it just came to life all on its own. It's kind of like the way Halloween did. Halloween was an initial success. It just kind of built over time, and more people started showing it in the movie theaters. So, to go over the story here, guys, Billy Jack is about the title character there, played by director and actor Tom Laughlin, who is a half-breed Native American and Caucasian war hero. He's an ex-Green Beret that came home and basically wanted to live a peaceful life on an Indian reservation, and basically take care of what's called a freedom school. Freedom schools aren't around much anymore. A freedom school, from what I understand from the traditional sense, was a school for runaways or kids that wanted to have a different type of learning atmosphere. It wasn't like a private school or anything. It was more like a quote-unquote hippie school, basically. Basically, if they wanted to learn anything, they would try to teach it to you, and you had standing rules of no drugs, and you had to be turned on by learning something. So, from what I understand from people of my mother and father's generation, these schools were all along the western part of the United States of that era, and you have to remember that the hippie generation had just died down, and Vietnam was still going on. A lot of people were not real happy with that war, and a lot of people had a lot of strong feelings towards racial differences that were still going on in America right then. So this movie had a lot of that. It dealt with a lot of that, plus it had good action, good drama, good comedy in the movie. Howard Hessman turns up in a comedic role in the movie. It's basically about Billy Jack taking care and protecting this freedom school, and the differences that the townspeople have with the lifestyles of the kids at the school. There is martial arts in the movie, Hapkido to be exact. Prior to any Steven Seagal moves, it's got a lot of good action in it, good gunfights. It's got good drama because it's got about how he defends the children from discrimination and persecution from the townspeople. It's got good comedy when they try to have the townspeople come to the school and learn about what they do there. It's got a good final shootout scene. It's got one of the best dramatic endings to a movie from that time period. What can I say, guys? It's just an American classic. It's an American independent classic along the lines of Easy Rider or movies of that era that basically were made for next to no money, shoestring budget, but it all came together and was just an enormous hit of its time. To go over some of the special features of the movie, it is a Blu-ray, high definition 1080p, high definition widescreen 1785 to 1. It's an HD mastered surround sound 5 to 1 audio, which is excellent, by the way. I used to have this on VHS, and I had a DVD copy that I let my mom have. And basically, I think this is a step up from the DVD, especially because a lot of the grain was taken out of the movie, the picture from that matter, and the audio has been cleaned up a lot, and it has a lot fresher sound to it. This Blu-ray is not chock full of special features, but it does have a few. It has a featurette, which is basically a glorified slideshow with a narration by the actor and star Tom Laughlin, Billy Jack, who tells you about what they had to go through to make this movie. Also, it has 2 audio commentaries. One audio commentary is from the 2000 release that I used to have, which is the one I preferred. I actually like that audio commentary because it gave you a lot of insight on where he was coming from when he made the movie. The new audio commentary, not so much. I understand Tom Laughlin's had some health problems along the way, and I think that it was a lot more lighthearted. They were just kind of having a good old time, which is fine, but it was more of an inside type thing where you kind of felt like they were just talking about their times, and it felt like kind of like I was intruding on their lives a little bit or something. I didn't want to listen to it, so listen to it if you're a Billy Jack purist, but this one's fully restored, remastered edition. From what I understand, if you're a big-time Billy Jack fan, guys, they're going to have the sequels and the prequel of this one called Born Losers. The sequels were The Trial of Billy Jack and Billy Jack Goes to Washington. They're going to have those on Blu-ray soon, so I'm going to hold out for the Blu-ray and hopefully get a couple more on here, especially Trial of Billy Jack, because it's a 3-hour epic, basically, that goes into more detail about his service time and things of that nature. I don't know. American classic. Gotta see it if you've never seen it. It's got a good title song, sung by the old group Coven, who was I think the song hit the #1 on the charts back then too. So gotta like it, guys. Got a little bit of action, a little bit of everything in it. Billy Jack, not for everybody's taste, but if you want a little product of yesteryear of American cinema, except none other than this one. Take care, guys.